today. From Soldier Field in Chicago, it's Week 17 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Nick Foles and the Chicago Bears taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
Just off Lakeshore Drive, nestled next to Lake Michigan, that's where you find historic Soldier Field in the great city of Chicago, Illinois. Just a short time ago, this crowd loud enough to shake the foundations of this nearly century-old building. They are ready for football indeed in Chicago as their guys get set to do battle with the Green Bay Packers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Bears team entering play. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Packers, they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. Well, here comes the Bears offense led out by their new man in charge here in 2020. Of course, a former Super Bowl MVP in Nick Foles.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
The numbers in last week's ball game for Robinson: 4 catches, 54 yards.
And he's able to pull that last pass in, but this is usually a pretty tough unit to try and maneuver against. They're the top 10 in the league against the pass, and you and I both know there's not much difference between 1 and 10.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Here's Foles. And he'll complete this one to Patterson. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. 2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Foles. Got a man. It's Patterson, complete. It'll be a gain of 9, and that's going to bring up the 3rd down.
I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to him. So, 2nd catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So, if they can get him going in the passing game, that should open up his running game, too. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the first. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. This is the receiver turned running back, Cordero Patterson, and down to the 36-yard line here. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave it with a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Patterson on the draw play. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
No gain, and it's 2nd down.
He steps out of bounds. behind the line of scrimmage.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Now Foles. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. Now this now, play number 9 on the opening drive, but it's 3rd and long. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. 6 yards in the wrong direction that time. Not only that, but it brings up 4th.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
This is up and good from Pinheiro. And it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. Leading the Packers offense out here, the same man who has been doing so since 2008. That's the great Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I know one thing in baseball, you want to have your closer, right, to finish off games. How about finishing off a season? Last week, week 16, he was the NFC Offensive Player of the Week as he looks forward to this one here to close out the year.
And, of course, he'll have the playoffs to look forward to. Already clinched a berth there, but indeed a great week 16. Now Rodgers. There to make the stop was John Jenkins.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Well, fair to say that when you're looking at guys that can run like the wind, you often find them at the wide receiver position, and that was special there.
And I'll tell you what a bird's eye view I've got here, because that was absolutely something else to watch. Not a lot of wiggle in that. That was catch it and go, and he used those wheels of his to absolute devastating effect.
And his top speed, as computed by Next Gen Stats, not bad. He was pushing 20 miles an hour. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Rodgers now on first down. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Bilal Nichols busting through to get him for a loss of 6. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Rodgers. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Out of the backfield, this is Aaron Jones. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. That was no 3rd and 2. That was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Aaron Jones with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Packers have taken the lead.
And that's something we saw often last year. Aaron Jones finding his way into the end zone with a rushing touchdown. Had his best season on the ground in his young career. First time he was over 1,000 yards.
Menu narration option is set to off. Menu narration option is set to off. Entering settings screen, you have 19 options. Menu narration option is set to off is selected.
And he tied Christian McCaffrey for the most rushing touchdowns in the league with 16. Green Bay had a balanced offense and a big-time record last year.
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And Patterson will not return it. It comes out to the 25. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups, check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he will not be able to get away as Foles is taken down. Preston Smith make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. Tyler Ervin back deep. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. That's taken inside his own 40. 8 yards on the return following a punt of 41. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10.
They're on 47-yard line.
Out come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, it's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that number 1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. So that'll back him up 5. Well, that's a tough, costly penalty because now it makes it 3rd and 6 after the false start. To throw, it's Rodgers. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. It's a 7-yard gain there. It's good enough to move the chains. Now a 1st down carry by Jones. Past the 20. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. They'll run it with Williams. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
He gets it halfway there with that run. I think you play up-tempo, get right back on the line of scrimmage, and hammer at him again.
They'll try to run it in with Jones. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Aaron Jones. His second touchdown of the game, 17th on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
And this carries into the end zone. And Patterson will not return it. It comes out to the 25. The Bears offense making their way out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the NFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 15 yards on the play, first down.
At the 44-yard line.
Back to throw here. He'll get this underneath to Montgomery. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. Umpire through the flag usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always making sure no one's holding.
A shotgun handoff to Patterson. And he'll get this up to about the 40. That's a gain of 6 on the